All right, I've got a story for you, and you might know who this one's about. If I was to start talking about beanstalks and giants, who do you think about? This is not a trick question. Who you think about? Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah. So, everybody knows about Jack and the Beanstalk and all of his adventures. Well, when Jack got a little older, he got aggravated with people talking about him and getting up in his face and wanting to hear about when he would go and fight that giant and climb that beanstalk. He didn't want to fool with that anymore. So he took a big bag of gold. I can't verify that it was a bag of giant gold, but it was a bag of gold, and he bought him a big farm way out in the middle of nowhere. Well, he lived there for a real long time, and he had a nice life, but I wouldn't call it a good life. We'll come back to that. Well, Jack was out walking the perimeter of his farm one day, and he liked to make sure everything was just as he liked it, and he came across an old beggar man. The beggar man was sitting there with a sad look on his face and said, "Mr. Jack, I'm so hungry. Could you please spare some food?" Jack said, "I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for you. I got stuff to do." "Oh, please, Mr. Jack, I'm starving. Look, just some crumbs from your table, some crust of your bread, anything you could spare, Mr. Jack, would help me out a ton." Whew, he sighed real big. "Come on." Mr. Jack leads him back to the house. Jack goes inside and finds some old cornbread he wasn't going to eat anyway, and he gives it to the beggar man and says, "Here, I'll get going." About that time, the beggar man starts rubbing his arms, looking around, said, "Oh, Mr. Jack, it's getting kind of cold. Sure could use a nice coat. Keep me warm tonight." "I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for you," Jack says. "Oh, but Mr. Jack, surely you could spare me a coat." He breathes real big. He goes inside and finds a coat he ain't worn in years. Comes out, tosses it to the beggar man. "Now get going," he says. About that time, a big clash of thunder hits. "Oh, Mr. Jack, storm's rolling in. It's going to be wet tonight. Sure you can't let me sleep on your porch?" "I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for you," Jack says. "Oh, Mr. Jack, I wouldn't bother nothing just sitting here sleeping on the porch." He breathes real big and goes inside and finds an old bedroll and a pillow, tosses them on the porch and says, "Here's the deal. I don't want to see you in the morning, but you could sleep here tonight." Jack goes inside and closes the door. Well, the next morning, he comes out, opens the door to the cabin, doesn't see a beggar, but as soon as he does, bright flash of light hits him. And there standing on the porch is the Archangel Gabriel. And the angel says, "Jack, the Lord has sent me to you. He's been watching you. You have not made your soul right with the Lord. I have been given authority to give you a heavenly boon. You get 3 wishes, 3 chances to save your immortal soul." Jack looked up and thought a minute and said, 3. I'll tell you what I'm thinking about. See that well down there? That well's on the edge of my property. People walk by there all the time. They come and they drink out of my well. I don't like it. So here's what I want. Anytime somebody touches that well that ain't me, I want that bucket to smack them upside the head and beat them and beat them and beat them until I say, "Stop, bucket, stop." Jack, Gabriel says, "What about your soul?" "I ain't worried about my soul. I'm worried about that bucket." Gabriel nods, says, "Okay, your wish is granted. Jack, you have 2 more wishes. Think about your soul." "I ain't worried about my soul. Let me tell you what I am worried about." He reaches down and picks up a hammer. He says, "See this hammer? I've had this hammer for a long time. I love this hammer, and I got a neighbor who comes over and steals it all the time. I don't like that. Here's what I want. Anytime somebody touches this hammer that ain't me, I want it to beat them upside the head over and over and over again until I say, 'Stop, hammer, stop.'" "What about your soul, Jack?" "I ain't worried about your soul. I'm worried about the hammer." Gabriel nods. "Jack, you have 1 more chance to save your immortal soul for eternal damnation." "I ain't worried about the soul. Let me tell you what I'm worried about. See this rocking chair over here? I love this chair. It's the most comfortable chair I have ever sat in, and anytime somebody comes up on this porch, they want to sit in it. I love this chair. I don't want nobody sitting in this chair but me. Here's what I want. Anytime somebody sits in this chair that ain't me, I want this chair to rock and beat and not let them up until I say, 'Stop, chair, stop.' Jack, what about your soul?" "I ain't worried about my soul. I'm worried about my chair." The angel nods, and in a blinding flash of light vanishes. Jack don't think much about none of this for a long time, until finally it's time for Jack to die. Jack wanders on up to the gates of heaven, knocks on the door, and there's St. Peter. Jack says, well, I'm here, let me in. Jack, what are you doing? Gabriel came and talked to you about this. You're not welcome here. Well, I reckon I can just come on in. Jack, your soul has not been saved. You are not welcome in the kingdom of heaven. Well, what am I supposed to do? Jack, if you don't go to heaven, where do you go? Well, I ain't going down there. I'm going to go back to the farm. Jack goes back to his farm. Well, the devil's down in hell. He starts doing some figuring and figures out he's a man short. He looks around and finds a little demon. Says, little demon, I want you to go up that farm and find Jack and fetch him for me. Bring him back down here. This is where he needs to be. Little demon says, yes, sir. Little demon goes up the farm and says, Jack, we got to go. You know where you're supposed to be. We're going to do it. Jack says, well, I reckon that's what we need to do, but I got some chores before we get going. No, Jack, we got to get going. I'm on a schedule. Well, if you're on a schedule, you help me out. Go down that well, fix me a bucket of water. We'll water these flowers. We'll get going. Little demon says, okay. He walks down, gets a bucket of water. Well, what happens? He ain't Jack, so that bucket starts beating him upside the head. Boom, 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 boom. Jack, what's going on? Boom, 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 boom. Make it stop. Boom, boom, boom. Jack says, not till you swear you won't take me to hell. Boom, 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 boom. Jack, make it stop. Not till you swear. I swear, Jack, I swear. Stop, bucket, stop. The bucket falls to the ground. Oh, the little demon is mad. Flames shooting out of his eyeballs. You tricked me, Jack. In a puff of smoke, the little demon vanishes. He goes back down there and talks to his boss and says, boss, he tricked me. Satan scratches his chin and says, all right. Big demon points at one of his generals and says, go up there and fetch Jack. Now, he's wily. He's got some wits about him. You fetch him, bring him back down here. Big demon nods. Goes up to Jack's farm. Jack's sitting on the porch whittling. Big demon says, Jack, we got to go. We ain't got time for foolishness. Jack says, well, I didn't mean to mess with your buddy there. I was just having a little bit of fun, but I know we got to get going. Demon says, well, let's go. He says, well, you know, this farm's nice. It's been good to me, and I got some family that's going to move in and take care of it now that I'm gone. And I can't leave it in bad shape, so I got to fix this porch up. These steps got some sour wood in it. So let me get that done. Jack, we ain't got time for that business with No, Jack says, I got to fix this up. What if somebody falls, gets hurt? We can hurry up. I tell you what, you help me put these boards together and we'll get going. Grab that hammer right there. We'll slap these boards on and we'll go ahead and go. Well, the demon picks up his hammer. He ain't Jack, so what happens? Boom, 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 boom. Hammer hits him in the head over and over again. Jack, what's going on? Boom, 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 boom. Jack, what's going on? Make it stop. Not till you swear that you won't take me to hell. Boom, 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 boom. Jack, make it stop. Not till you swear. I swear, Jack, I won't take you. I swear. Stop, hammer, stop. Hammer falls to the ground. Oh, the big demon's mad. Flames shoot out of his whole body. He says, Jack, you'll get yours. You will get yours. Poof, smoke, and he vanishes. Big demon goes down to hell and tells his boss what's going on. Satan just nods. Next day, goes up to Jack's farm. Satan says, Jack, we ain't playing. We ain't fooling around. You mess with my boys, that's fine. I understand. But you know where you're going. You know we got to go. Jack says, I get it. I like to have fun. I like to kid around. That's just the kind of guy I am. Don't you just get tired sometimes? Don't you just want to rest? I know you work all the time. Let's just take a break. Let's me and you talk and have it out. And we'll go here in a few minutes. Let's just take a break. The devil says, well, my hooves have been hurting a little bit. He sits down in that rocking chair, and as soon as his rump hits the seat, it starts rocking and beating and will not let him go. Jack, make it stop. Beating, rocking, won't let him go. Jack, make it stop. Not till you swear that I will never have to go to hell. Rocking, beating, won't let him go. Jack, make it stop. You swear that I will never go to hell. The devil says, I swear, Jack, you will never go through the gates of hell. Stop, chair, stop. The devil don't even look mad. He just looks at Jack, kind of half smiles and says, I don't think you understand what you've done. Poof. Vanishes in smoke. Well, this all happened in the summertime. And in the summertime, it's nice and warm. Well, it got to be fall about this time of year. And what happens in the fall? Well, like right now, it starts getting colder. And Jack got cold. Well, we can warm up. We're alive. But Jack was dead. He couldn't get warm. He laid right down in the fire pit. Could not get warm. So he figured, well, I'm going to go back up to heaven. I bet it's warm up there. He knocks on the gate. St. Peter says, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm cold. I want to come in. Jack, you're not welcome here. We had this talk. Your soul is not fit for heaven. You cannot enter the gates. Well, what am I supposed to do? Well, Jack, if you can't come to heaven, where do you have to go? Well, at least it's warm down there, he says. He walks down. He knocks on the gates of hell. Satan opens the door just a little bit and says, Jack, what are you doing? He says, I'm cold and I want to come in. The devil says, I swore, Jack, that you would never enter the gates of hell. And the devil don't break a promise. You can't come in. You're not allowed. Well, I'm cold. The devil nods, says, you outsmarted me, so I'm going to do you a favor. And he reaches down, he picks up a little chunk of hellfire, tosses it, Jack. Jack catches it. It's hot in his hands. He can't hold it. So he runs back to his farm. He's just kind of bobbling it. He's looking for something to put it in. He looks around, doesn't see a whole lot. He sees, oh, there's an apple. He's like, maybe I can hold an apple. Apple just sort of melts away. He looks over, there's some corn husks. It just burns up. Keeps looking around. He's got pumpkins he's growing. It's fall. He grabs a pumpkin, cuts it open, scoops out the guts, tosses in the hellfire. That's not bad. Get a little heat out of it, and you can hold it. But it gets dark. You can't see nothing. So Jack's still kind of wily, still likes to prank. So he starts cutting on the outside of that pumpkin. Makes a little face, looks like his devil buddy. He walks around with it. Every night people see Jack carrying his lantern. And that's why we call them jack-o'-lanterns today. That's my story, guys. Thank you all.